Hello, everyone. It's Mike here with the Impossible Puzzles Show. It's episode 83. And putting away silly props. Damon, tell us all about yourself.
Hey, Mike, glad to be here. Excited to chat. I'm based out of Georgia, so I'm about 90 minutes south of Atlanta, which is a little bit further than I'd like to be. Originally from Jamaica, and typically background is in sales, but I have a lot more we can pull from there. I used to be a professional athlete. As you know anything about Jamaicans, we like track and field, so I was a jumper. But yeah, it's been a good time, and yeah, excited to just jump in and chat today.
Amazing. And professional athlete. You can't gloss over that. Oh, autographs, everyone. Ladies, keep it in your pants.
Yeah, it was. Let's see. It's been a while. A little bit retired now, so we're we're out of it.
Retired. Oh, retired
But
from.
yeah, it was a good time. I was telling my wife I used to be a jumper, and I was like, when you get old, your knees catch up to you. So, it's one of those things.
Interesting. And sales, tech sales or general sales?
Tech sales. So yeah, tech sales. It was one of the first thing that I did coming right out of sports. So if you imagine, like in sports, we were like, oh man, we need to have. I needed to make a difference. I wanted to work towards something, and I joined the startups. And I thought, everyone wanted the dream of becoming something of like, oh, I thought I'd join the next Airbnb or Uber. And so that was, I was actually in Phoenix, Arizona at that time. And I moved to San Francisco to join the whole, shebang. And haven't had my big success yet, but I've worked at some really good companies. So
You've had some ups and downs. You've dabbled in
yeah.
some exciting projects. You are also sitting in a comfortable black leather chair of sorts. Yours is a
Ayo.
fancier chair with a
This
heads.
It
Watch
has a
out for
headset.
these.
It's like supposed to be helpful, but sometimes it's more of a distraction. Like, oh, what is this?
Okay, on. Wait a second. Now I'm cyber stalking you on a computer
Mhm.
next to me here. We got you on LinkedIn here. Tech sales, leadership, and life. Sharing what I find along the way. Soul sessions. What the soul sessions? Good. What are you, a rabbi? What's going on over here?
Yeah, soul sessions. I see. You're in Toronto, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, are you from Toronto?
Born I born and raised. I did, as unfortunately has been explored on earlier episodes, I did spend a good chunk of time traveling around the world, visiting South Korea, Israel, all around Europe a couple times, living in New York as
Fun.
for rabbinical college, and then a
Hey.
little bit traveling in the U.S. I am married with 5 kids. I do
Wow.
say
Okay.
that whenever odd messages come around. I'm like, ooh. I mean, no. You were born in Jamaica, also.
I was
So
born in
interesting.
Jamaica. So I was getting to the soul sessions. The reason I'd ask
Sure.
is,
Yeah.
yeah, so session, I kickstarted that as just more of a way to share things. I got laid off one of my last tech sales role, but I've always had soul session in the background. And it came up because I was, we talked about, I came to America 2010. Right? I came to college here, and I was in New Jersey. I went to Princeton, and then I was like, oh, this is fun. But it wasn't real America. And then I moved to Phoenix, Arizona, and then I moved to, California, and I'm in Georgia. So it was just like bouncing around. And when you go to a place when you're, it's like 17, 18 for college, you start to then wrap your head around who am I, right? So I'm weirdly enough, like I'm 35, and you at this point you're like, wait, I'm almost it's 50-50. I spent early days in Jamaica, adult, here. Who am I? Like, am I Jamaican? Am I American? And so Soul Session is this like trying to figure out this emergence, conversion of who am I? Like, how do I show up? how do I want to show up, and what does that look like? As you imagine, and you go to one of the good things when you go to different cities or different culture, you get to like
Yes.
explore and see like what I could be, but also I often think of like, I always say when you try to climb the corporate ladder, like who do I have to become in order to get there,
So true. So true. You've done a lot of time in American corporate roles or mostly startups?
Mostly startups, but I often think they are spin-offs of a corporate, right? Because it's like everyone has an idea of like where where did they come up with these things if not for the big corporates? I've actually never worked at a really big company, and mainly companies are under 500, maybe 250 employees. But a lot of them, it's like, oh, do they have good HR or not? Like I often think about that,
That's so interesting. I Soul Sessions is a, if I understand correctly, it's like a finding oneself. The soul session, not a sales call, not another one of these webinars. Oh, kill yourself. Not one of these. It's not a pot. It's not a. Is it a media? Is it a video recording for
So
public
I would like
use?
to
Or
say it's
yeah.
media group would be the best way to describe it, but it's still also just like what I feel like. So it actually started where when you move to a new city, when I moved to Atlanta, I started having meetups, and so we'd have, these dinners, or would go for walks, or we would do stuff. And it's like if you're new to the city and you're trying to like get to know the city with new people, let's do that. Or we'd say if you're going through a season of transition, and so a season of transition could be you just had your first baby. I just did. I have an 8-month-old,
Mazel tov.
and
Congratulations.
thanks.
Mazel tov.
Thanks. Or, it's like maybe I just got married, or maybe there's a death, or I got laid off. So, like, are you going through a new transition and you're trying to figure out what's next? Come hang out with potential people to do that. So, we started there. And then I moved away from Atlanta, the main city. And then we started like, okay, why can I still do this virtually? So, we started having podcasts. But it's the whole like, how could I create a space for people to show up and just be themselves and explore, in like it's not necessarily religious at all, but some people have sentences like it's sort of like if you were to do your sacraments at church and like create these silent moments at church sort of thing.
It's Soul Sessions is all about having time to pause and reflect and to the opposite of capitalism, the
Yes.
opposite of American industrialism, and you call yourself the chief vibes officer at CVO. Is this kosher? Is this allowed? I don't. Oh my God!
I don't know.
Praise the
It's
Lord.
well, my gets like when you got let, I got let go from my company. The part of it is also just like, okay, if I'm my own boss, why not just name whatever I want to name? Versus there is a version of when you're working at a company, you have to be careful what you post, right? So, and
Careful,
so
you
no,
can't
I
even.
was just like,
Yeah.
wait, like why not say something fun? And so there's that version of like just express myself. This is all just we're all figuring it out. I don't have it all together. Let's not take ourselves too seriously. That sort of thing.
I get it. And walks. I've never heard the term walks or finding your next thing. A group of like honest
Mhm.
people, literally honestly meeting. It's not a Android developer meetup. It's not a hackathon where everyone gets free food but is enslaved by a Canadian telecommunications company to test the new AI agent. You are going honest and faith. It's a faith based. It's like a dating event slash
No, so it's
no.
not
Oh.
even. So that's the thing. It's like I grew up Christian, but it's not. It has nothing to do with that. I would say like the idea of soul is like yes, people hear that and they think oh, versus, and it's not dating. It's truly just like one of the things that we had was we had a yoga and journaling session. We had like actually a whole month long. So every Sunday we would show up. They'd get a little bit of yoga, and then towards the end we would have some journaling prompt for them to then say hey, like, what are you going through today? What are you? So it's how could we create spaces for people to reflect without, like even if it's just an hour that we could present for them to reflect and show up as themselves.
It's okay. I'm taking this in. This is like the opposite of a Jewish hangout. Okay, this what is this? This is a Jamaican flavored thing. In Jamaica, people are just chilling out and enjoying a nice a jerk chicken with the jerk spice. Is this
I
true?
wish
Is this
we should
true?
have more food there. We have had some food, and obviously I can't take the Jamaican out of me, but I think a lot of it is. I think it's uniquely suited for people that are in spaces that don't feel like they can be themselves, and so that I think it's like for me being underrepresented and like being Jamaican. Obviously, when I show up, those are my experiences. But you can show up with your experiences of being underrepresented or being in a space that you don't feel like you can fully explore or share the things that you're going through. And so that's part of it. So you could be working at a job where you're like, I don't know if I can say these things at a job, but we have a space for you to come say these things, and this might never go back to your boss, or you might be in this relationship, or you might have this issue with with someone in your family, and this might be the space that you come talk about it with.
So you're basically the rabbi of a Jamaican flavored, secretly relaxed synagogue with yoga, and they and are you accepting new members? Do you accept Canadians? I don't know if
Why
I'm.
not? Yes, we are. It's open to just at that point. There's no membership now. It's just we produce sometimes like one of my last podcast series we did.
Yes.
But one of the because I was a new dad, we did a 7-part series with new fathers. And so we were trying to wrap our head. I'd imagine in Canada it's completely different here in America, but like we were talking about paternal leave and paternity leave and what does that look like and who takes it and what does it mean to be a first-time dad. So I think similar to you, it's like it's an exploration of the curiosity of the things that like, hey, what am I curious about? And so there's that piece where we ended up I ended up creating that last season where it was just like really fun for me because I was like 3 months into this new dad role and getting able to like talk to people about being a new dad, number one, but also it's just like we could use that for other podcasts. So it's like it's a double-edged sword. But yeah, I really enjoyed. So it was like, can you join? Yes, like follow along, but it's also just like the message, if it resonates with you, it's more of like that. It's like putting the message out in the world so people can. I often think like if it helps one person to rethink where they sit and how they behave, then I would have done my job.
It's yeah. Okay, I'm okay. So YouTube.com at Damon A. McLean. Oh, you got 227 videos. This is you.
Well,
This is your channel.
well, so that's me, but we also have the Soul Sessions one, which depending on
Let me get my bearing. Soul Sessions is a different YouTube channel.
yeah.
Oh,
So we do have we do have.
Sundays. What's the link or what's the tag for Soul
Let
Sessions?
me drop it real quick. So you'll
We're
have
gonna
it.
put
It
this in the
is
description below on YouTube and
yeah.
LinkedIn for those who are not live or not like raw here. Okay, at join youtube.com at join Soul Sessions videos. Okay, I'm doing it on a different computer because I'm
Oh
supposed to be
yeah.
a fancy journalist over here. La la la. Fake it till you make it, everyone. Fake it till you make it. I'm literally
Multiple.
okay. I'm sharing. So I'm screen recording this, so people who are watching when it's on YouTube, they'll see the at join Soul Sessions, and I'm gonna actually go to it. So Soul Sessions. Oh, you got 145 videos. Soil 243 subscribers. Soul Sessions dives deep into the unspoken side of work, from navigating tech careers to leading teams and building systems at scale, all without losing your humanity. We explore ambition, pressure, belonging, and leadership through candid conversations and personal reflection, revealing the soul behind success. You're the host, hosted by Damon. You have
Yes.
multiple channels. Oh my God. Okay, I'm jumping back in the to the where I'm jumping around a bit. this will be multi-layered here. You're pumping out content of
I
conversations.
I try. I try to be
You
like you.
why do you do it? You're not. Are you? Wait, you're also inventing toys in the STEM space. What your podcast is a? What's your secret motivations behind your podcast?
Yeah, so there's a couple. I would say it's a way of processing thought. Is the first, it took a while for me to like just start putting stuff out there, and so I would say there's a lot of time, like even the pandemic when everyone was like starting to create, I think it was like I'm about 2 to 3 years in, and the first thing was just like I feel like I read a lot, obviously books, and I consume a lot, and like I have thoughts, but the first one, I don't care if anyone listens to my thought. I needed to get them out. So I do journal. So journal, that's great. But then there's also like, I think it'd be cool to like, here's an idea that I think the world might enjoy. And now I don't know, I don't think I have the formula yet to quote unquote go viral, but I do think I have thoughts and ideas and conversations. And one of the things that I think, especially with the interviews, is that I enjoy having a deeper conversation than the, hey, how are you? Like, it's like, tell me how you really feel. So that's one piece. And then the other piece is, I think there's a part of it that's fun and exploration. And like, if you're doing, let's say I'm in sales and I'm working on this type of stuff, like, is there a creative side? And so that's also, so it's a multi-layered of number one. If you think about like, what are the things that make you come alive? Part of them is being in, interviews and holding the space for someone to like share something.
Yes.
That's one piece. And then the other piece is like being able to express your creativity, because if you keep expecting to get it from work, you might never. So can I have other outlets where I can do that? And and I think so far it's been good. And like, there are weeks when I'm like, I don't have anything to say, so I don't say it,
You're wanting to talk out your journaling as a video. It's video. It's not audio. It's like me. I'm all about like I do video, and people are like,
Yeah.
"Well, what's the Spotify link?" And I'm like, "No, it's a video. You have to come on." They're like, "Whoa, that's different." And I'm like, "Well, your guests are coming on video. You chose
Yeah, and
video,
we
not
do
audio.
we do release the audio, but it's
Yeah,
video first. And
video
if you've
first."
seen some of the stuff,
I'm
let's see if you
literally
were.
the one a day ago, or sorry to interrupt you there. She wouldn't date me because I had no dad. A woman once told me, "Oh, you're doing really personal. This is
So
your."
that was, yeah, that was my personal one. So I keep them. Sometimes so you see that's my personal one, and then there's the soul sessions one. So there's like, I play around and see like, like this one's interesting. I did that one for Father's Day. And like that was an interesting, like my wife actually prompted me to do that video.
Your
Being it my
wife is
first Father's Day.
your wife is secretly prompting. She's the
Yeah.
producer, secret
Well,
producer. Oh my
I don't know about
god!
your family, but I actually didn't watch vlogs. I don't like. I'm not like a big vlog watcher. I started now because I wanted to see like what are people doing on YouTube and that. And then she was the big one. She's like, yeah, there's very few like male voices on LinkedIn on YouTube. Like she's the one that like she was like, oh, either people are in gaming or it's like slightly different, or cars or gym, but just like normal stuff, because she watches a lot of vlogs. She's a doctor, so we always talk about like what is the thing that they watch, like brain or rot. She's like, I just want something I can turn my brain off, that's I can have in the background. And there's not a lot of guys stuff out there. And I was like, I actually didn't know that. Like when I go to YouTube, I go to YouTube for very specific things. It's either a podcast or I'm like, okay, how to edit this thing. Like it's like I'm trying to learn something. I don't go to say, hey, I don't know, Mike, if you have a day in the life video, or like,
I
hey, let me
have
follow Mike as an influencer.
I no no. It's so interesting. Here we're talking about, and I just subscribed to the Damon McLean channel. Is that yeah? A few people were like, Mike, why are you doing a podcast, or why do you have a YouTube channel, or why does it have to be video first? And then I'm like, And then there's other people where like, what's it like a day in your life? I'm so curious. You know this person, that person. I'm like, well, it's not like high school. These are like real people I interact with. They're like, but how did you know that person? I'm like, I guess. What do you mean? How do I know that person? I was at like a trade show and they came up to me and then we talked about they're a music they are an inventor with patents in the music space and music education for
Mm.
kids. And then I'm in the coding for kids space. And then I'm also have an inventor. So like of course we became friends because we have the same struggles. And it's like, but she's from the Caribbean and she's 10 years older than you and she's married. And I'm like, okay, it's not that kind of I'm also married. It's not that kind of relationship. And then there's people I know where they're like, you know how life is. There's people they're like, you're a
Yeah.
religious Jewish guy with a rabbinical certificate. You can't go to Las Vegas for a trade show. And I'm like, okay, well then you run ASD Market Week for toy inventors in Canada, and then I'll run it. Run it. Why don't you open the house next door and run the convention there, and then I don't have to go there. In fact, why don't you move that convention over here, and then it's interesting, and but I'm different. I don't. For me, it wasn't so personal minded. It was more around actually now that we're confessing all our sins here, I when I started the podcast, when I said impossible puzzles, I didn't think that everyone in the world would think that they're trying to solve an impossible puzzle. I meant like actual physical 2600 piece puzzles explicitly, like actual puzzles. Yeah, I didn't know that people would. Yeah, like literally, like these are puzzle blocks, and I use them in interesting ways.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I thought that that would be understood. I didn't know that anyone else would be like, well, aren't I solving an impossible puzzle? Am I unworthy? And I'm like, well, that's not a puzzle. That's more of an AI B2B SaaS trying to grow your marketing and exposure. Okay, you could come on. And then I realized that podcasting and YouTube in general, it's very mysterious because once you
Mm.
open the door and say, you know, once you say that you have a podcast, people, it's not all one way. It's like you haven't invited me on your 84 episodes and I haven't been invited. I've known you for 30 years and I'm like, whoa, hold on a second. Hold on a second. I don't have like therapists talking about that, and they're like, is that not an impossible puzzle? Harder than any puzzle,
Mm.
and tying back to what you're saying is like, yeah, once you have a microphone, before you even plug it in, people are like, oh, there's a microphone. What the hell? What's your experiences like? People are
I
running to
think,
you, or you them, and how does it
yeah,
work?
I think there's a quite a bit. I was talking to someone before. It's like once you have like as you have a microphone, I have one too. Once people see it, there's a version of like, whoa, this is serious, versus like, but there's some people that see it and they're like, it's weirdly at some level of authority, but into us, it's like, it's not that hard to have a microphone. It's like, I always joke
I
with people, it's like,
said to someone, you could go. I literally said this the other day. If you want a microphone to exist on your desk, you can go
yeah,
on like Amazon and you could buy for like $30. You could buy a
I know.
microphone.
And in fact, it's like
It would
one
be
of
a
the reasons
prop. Like, it's,
yeah, I did it because I work from home a lot of times. And the idea was around like, I just think if I work from home, having good audio and cameras, like something to invest in, not necessarily because I was having a podcast. And then you learn along the way, like, we hop on, we hit record and we go like,
and we don't
we
know
learn
where we're
certain,
going. Right now,
yeah.
a day
And
from
so there's,
now, I
yeah,
was just gonna say like a day from now or any time in the future, this will exist with a
yeah,
YouTube link tied indirectly to Mike Merker, which will have your name tied to it somehow, and it will exist forever. And right now, I'm just sitting in my basement around a bunch of, puzzle pieces and weird stuff, talking into a audio thingy microphone plugged into a computer. There is actually no script. In fact, isn't it scary? We were both. I don't even know you. You could be secretly an AI person stealing? Are you coming after me? We don't know. And the trust is high, and it's raw. And do a lot of people say no when you do it? When you
Mm.
do people? Are you reaching out to
Yeah,
people? Or yeah.
I have, yeah, I've reached out to people. So I have two issues that I run into. Number one is, I do different from you. So when I have seasons. I don't know how you do it. Just because there's a lot of things I'm interested in, and I try to group them. So this season, actually the previous season we did paternity leave. This season I'm doing changes. So someone that's gone through significant changes. Usually I keep the season anywhere from like 8 to 10 episodes, just because it gives me a good like ending to. It's not just like reaching out to people. So I reach out with a theme, and that way it helps me to get it out of my system. So it's like, I want to talk about this thing, and I want to like talk about it with a couple people, and then I can move on. So the season that I was on was like around, if you've gone through changes, and I also had a couple coaches on there that like change people through coaches. And so we did that, but like reaching out is, I reach out with a specific ask for this. So sometimes it's hard because some people it goes multiple ways. It's either they're saying, who else has been, they're maybe too big shot, and you're like, I don't know, this doesn't seem very big. I'm like, all right, dude, I'm. So that's one piece. Or the opposite happens actually. They're scared. They're like, wait, like, you're choosing me? Like, I don't think I'm the person you two should be talking. And I was like, no, I wouldn't have reached out to you if that's the case.
Am I the chosen one? Yeah, I've had people that are like, yeah, people are like, am I the chosen one? And I'm like, well, I did copy the message to your LinkedIn box as well. And they're like,
yeah,
spamming people for guests. And I'm like, well, only people of your caliber. Yeah. They're like, oh, well, dump a bump a boop. You're honored.
So I have a one pager. So in the LinkedIn that I send out, there's a one pager. They can read it, and then obviously scheduling becomes the like the piece where it's like when works, yada yada yada. I'm learning a lot about that, but it's never, obviously like the more popular you become, the more like people are drawn to it, and they're more likely to say yes. But I don't want, there's a version where my friend is like, you should just get popular people on, that way they'll help to promote it, versus like, I was like, but that doesn't give you the real conversations, because I think the bigger you get, sometimes the less things you share that's like relevant to your people. And oftentimes I think depending on the questions you ask and the type of conversations you have, it's not free flowing. The other thing that we saw that with the when I was talking to the paternity leave, everyone was in a job, and they couldn't always see paternity leave sometimes is tied to the job that they're on. So it was a hard conversation to have, because some people had to go, like, they're working for Google, and they're like, well, we can't really talk on Google, but I can talk about my personal scenario. Or they work for LinkedIn, and so trying to figure out, how can we talk about your experiences of this thing without like being on your company, that sort of thing,
That's so interesting. So you're experiencing the raw reality of what it's like to be a host and producer of video and video content, or audio/video content. And has this made your life better or worse?
I think it's been better in the sense of, actually, I consult with companies now, so I'm a consultant for helping companies grow, and it's interesting that like there are people that I can talk about this aspect, because people think getting a podcast up and going is the biggest thing, and I'm like, I'm doing this with no money, and you're a company with money. Let me tell you how easy it is to set this up. Like, it's not that complex.
For you, it's not complicated.
And I think there's a lot of CEOs that are afraid. I talk to a lot of CEOs now that they're trying for like, what do I post on LinkedIn? Should I post on LinkedIn? And I'm telling them, this is one of the easiest ways. Just get on a podcast, have someone record you, clip up the clips, and post that. Like, it's so easy.
It's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
I feel like, no, I can so relate. I talking to anyone I speak with, I'm like, they're like, Mike, could I ever do be on my own podcast? And I'm like, sure, yeah. They're like,
Yeah.
am I worthy? And I'm like, no, there's not some like secret religious podcasting initiate club where it's like only if you're, only if you have so much. Someone's like, do I have enough facial hair to start a podcast? I'm like, no, no, women do podcasts. They're like, women do podcasts. I'm like, how much do you know about media? And they're like, well, not as much as you. And you have YouTube channels, so you've made content, so that makes you a content that gives you at least the knowledge of YouTube, of video, of
Hmm.
audio, of sense of media. That itself is like a badge of honor in today's
Mm.
world, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think the thing where I'd gone to my 10-year college reunion 2 years ago. And at that point, I just started posting
Yes.
stuff. And on Instagram, I was just like starting to get comfortable. It was so funny. Like that's what people were, you had to get over that initial hump of your friends and family saying like, well, are you a content creator now? And I was like, when did this become if
How
I just pick
dare
up my
you?
phone and start recording, like, does that mean I'm a content? Like, and I will take it, but I didn't consider myself. I still don't consider myself a content creator per se, but I do think like if you want to call me that, sure. It's not what I do for a living. I think that's the other thing is too.
Yes. Yes. Is
Like I
the
don't, and I've tried to. I don't know how you've done it, but like I've tried to keep it separate that I can enjoy it. Like if someone wants to sponsor me, hey, I'm welcome to be sponsored. Like I'll take the sponsorship money, but I don't want my livelihood to be tied to it because part of it is so fun that I said if it gets to that place where we get sponsored, sure, I'm not going to deny it. But like at this point in my life, I'm lucky and grateful that I don't need this thing to work. That I have to
no,
but
no, no,
I'm going
totally,
double down on.
totally. The dependency on monetizing urgently,
Mm.
which is influencing others. Yeah, I know a few people. One's like, oh, I have to get ads, and I'm like, well, you don't have to. Okay, I'm like, okay, everyone's different, whatever. And there's a few people where they're like, well, how much would it cost to do the 30-minute episode? Like real business people, and I was like, I literally had to be like, well, let's just do it once for free to start. They're like, oh, it's free? Oh, I don't know if I'm gonna do it. Then like to like a 50-year-old businessman who has like 10
Yeah, yeah.
employees, their mindset is so different. You're talking to
They
CEOs and or heads of like founders, and they're like, I don't know if I can afford the eclipse.
Yeah,
you
it's so.
Is
I
that
know we
strange?
had I remember there was one. She's a marketer. I know I'm not a marketer, but like I was teaching her how to set this up and how to do this. I was like, wait, like, isn't this your job to know? And it was like an interesting thing of like, I think the big learning here is there's a lot of people sitting around waiting for permission to do things and not realizing that like you can just do things and you can just go out and just like get it done and no one you don't need
There's
any
no
permission, which is good and
security
bad, which is
guard.
good and bad.
Yeah, yeah. No. I was saying this a few times. I'm like, there's no gatekeeper here. If you
Yeah,
wanna, I'm like, okay, you do need, if it's YouTube, you do need to, you can't just have like one video and hope you get 1 million views. You do need to make a number of videos. It will take time, but you don't have to edit each video.
yeah.
There's a few people I know. They're like, oh, I have to edit each pod for every hour podcast. I have to do 20 hours of like post production. I'm like, I. They're like, how many hours of post production do you do? I'm like, postage what? I'm like,
Yeah,
no, it's raw. It's
I know.
raw.
And
It's always
there's
been
the
raw. It's
well, and the thing is, like, I enjoy these, and there's some of them that I do. Like, I sometimes I have a prep call, which is dependent on if I want to make sure they feel more comfortable, right? So it's like, hey, let's hop on. We can talk about what the arc is. I'll send over some questions that I might ask, so you can prepare. And then there's a version there, and then like what you just mentioned made me think about something I've been thinking about is oftentimes we use that as an excuse to not do the thing that we want. Like, we don't realize how much of that of an excuse is like, oh, but I have to edit it. Like, when you hear someone having like say that type of stuff, it's like you really don't want to. Like, I know people that they do solo podcasts. I haven't done a lot. I've only done one, but I probably should do more. But they literally every day they're doing like a 90-day YouTube channel where they just hit record, they're solo talking for 10 minutes, and they just hit upload right out. Like, you know what I mean? And so it's like,
there's no guest. There's no guest.
Yeah.
You're
there's
allowed
no
to.
Guest.
Oh, that's a different style of just solo. Okay, you do that. What's that like? What's solo?
I've only done it once, and I will tell you. And then the one that I did recently on Sunday, I did it, and then I had some clips on top of it. That was 8 minute, and I will tell you that I'm not the best at solo talking. And so what I try to do is, you know, I try to like now with all these apps that have, you know, you can click to talk. So you can like do audio. So what I do is I talk it out first and just like, okay, I'm going for a walk. So I'll try to like, I'm leaving a voice memo to my wife or something like that. So I start there, then I take that note and then put it into, you know, one of these Chat GPT or whatever and said, hey, what are the key points that I just talked about? Now it gives me 8 points. And then those are, I just say, okay, I'm going to talk about 8 points in this thing. And I think about myself more of a teacher / lecturer than like a, you know, oh, just listen to me talk for, you know, 10 minutes. It's like, here are 8 points about this thing. It is, I'm not used to it yet, but I think it could be something I could get used to because, as you know, like getting, you know, if you're always dependent on on guests, you run into issues. Which I think why people have guest hosts, co-hosts is like always better because people have co-hosts, they can just bounce off each other throughout, you know.
So much food for thought. There's actually so many variables in the world of podcasting because there's like video first, audio first, and we okay, this has been a really great session. I know we both have busy lives we have to get back to, and we also are lots going on. And in the last 30 seconds, what would you be open to do this again?
Totally. Yeah. Would love to connect again. I think this has been great. I love the vibe, love the energy. I just subscribed for you as well. So yeah.
Yeah. You're mutually exchanging intangible digital clicks and amazing. And I have a thought. In the last, what would you say, in a few words? What would you say to all those people? I know a lot of them who are terrified to ever put themselves out there on YouTube or LinkedIn in the video raw format. What would you say to encourage them to take the leap, as it's obviously maybe holding them back a little bit in their growth and success as a human being and professionally?
There are a couple things that it's like, I will say, luckily I'm in sales, and the reason I say I'm in sales is because I've had to listen to my own voice and see my face on video a lot. And that's one of the things that generally a lot of people start with. They're not used to hearing their own voice or seeing their face on a video. So the first thing I would say is, what is the minimum you can do? So it could be faceless. Like there are people that are producing faceless. Like, so it could be you have an audio recording where it is, you just have some quote unquote B-roll on top of it. But like, is there a 1 minute version of this thing that you can record that it doesn't have to be 10 minutes, it doesn't have to be an hour, but is there a 1 minute video that you can do? There's a trend that popped up where they were taking 1 second clips out of their day, and then at the end of the year, they stitched the 1 second clip together, and like that became like an amazing reel. So there's a version of like, what is a 1 minute? Could you talk about something for 1 minute, and you just open your phone and that's it? And you just build that muscle, and then that 1 minute can turn to 10, you know, that sort of thing. And so that's just get comfortable. Just like,
okay.
Yeah, and then the other thing I always tell people is done is better than perfect.
Yes. ship, do.
Yeah,
Don't even
you
look at
have
it. Get it out there.
just do
Accept
it.
flaws and all. You're an
Just do it.
advocate for get it out. Release
Yeah,
the
because a lot
software
of people come
buggy.
to me and they're rather like, I want to. I was talking to someone
Yes.
about this about how when I consult, it's much easier for me to consult when something's been done versus like if you haven't done anything, you haven't taken an action. It's hard for me to come in and tell you what to fix. You know?
I always say that too.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll pause over here as nature's calls, and we got more stuff to do, and we'll do this again. And
Awesome, Mike. Thank you.
amazing. And we'll put all your good stuff will be in the description below, and I will load this later today, raw, uncut, and commercial free. A pleasure.
See you. Bye.
Thanks, Damon.